Hi, my name is Emma and I'm a member of the Girls Advisory Board for the Chester County Fund for Women and Girls. One way which the fund is advocating for change is through our online segment called the Kitchen Table Talks, where we will be discussing women's issues and topics in Chester County. We want to thank you for joining us for our second episode of the Kitchen Table Talks. So this episode we're sitting down with Tam Williams, who's a member of the League of Women Voters, and Dr. Pamela Gray, the president of the League of Women Voters. So I wanted to welcome you to the fund and thank you for coming to bring awareness for the League of Women Voters and the importance of voting, especially because Election Day is November 6th. So to start off, can you just tell us a little bit about the League of Women Voters in Chester County?
Well, actually the League of Women Voters was founded nationally by Carrie Chapman Catt in 1920 during the convention of the National American Woman Suffrage Association, which was held in Chicago 6 months before the 19th Amendment was actually ratified. There was a lady, her name was Mrs. Rauschenberg. She had a replica of the Liberty Bell forged, and it was driven all over the state of Pennsylvania and other states on a flatbed truck in 1915 to try and get the right to vote for women. And after World War I, they felt maybe that it was time to get the right to vote, and they did in 1920.
It's amazing that it took that long, because Wisconsin was the first, and that was in the 1800s. But you know, the Justice Bell, that bell
that's
is
Mrs. Rauschenberger.
The Justice Bell is in Valley Forge Park right now, and we're going to be doing a reenactment of the Justice Bell, where every county where the Justice Bell was taken on that flatbed. Those women went through a lot. That's why the importance of voting is so, so important.
Like you were saying, it's not a right that we've always had.
We host forums for people who may or may not be having issues with getting registered to vote. We provide a lot of information. We host debates. We do the voter's guide, getting ready for the election. All candidates in the whole state were asked to fill out a survey on what they would do, their background, their experience, and you get a better idea of the person running for that office so that you can make a better decision about who to vote for. You can just go to www.lwvccpa.org at vote411.org. You can go to the state. We have printed it out on paper, and these are available in all of the libraries in Chester County. It will also be in all the senior centers in Chester County.
Can you just talk a little bit about some of the groups that have the most barriers when it comes to voting?
Right now, people who have been in jail, people who just have no access to getting registered, or they don't know how.
People that don't have the right identification. So you think about elderly people, think about elderly African American people that may not have even had a correct birth certificate. A lot of different things. Maybe they didn't have a Social Security card. So there's a lot of other barriers that come into play.
Some of the polling places are not handicapped accessible now, too.
Going to the right polling place.
But if you show up at the wrong polling place close to closing time, they have to give you a ballot anyway.
So if you're not registered to vote in the upcoming election, or people like me who are under the voting age, what are some ways that you can still be involved in making a difference and impacting the election?
You could provide transportation, you could babysit, you could walk somebody's dog. There are lots of different ways that you could encourage people, maybe go door to door and help hand out pamphlets, talk to a candidate that you like. They need a lot of people on the ground.
And you know, for younger people, you're very familiar with digital and electronics, and so if someone says, I have no way to get to the polls, helping them to navigate that would be excellent. Order them an Uber or a Lyft, which is going to be giving free rides to the polls on election day. And you know, I say take advantage of it.
Could you just talk a little bit about women specifically and the data that goes along with women when it comes to voting?
So recently, I attended a luncheon, and it was stated during that luncheon that 1 in 3 women in the state of Pennsylvania did not vote. Now those numbers stretched nationwide as well. You had some states where a lot of women did turn out to vote. But given the fact that here we are, you know, at this day and age, and when you don't exercise your right to vote, and everything that you hear every day is politics, 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 there is no reason that someone should not exercise their right to vote. A couple of years ago, there was a study done, and that was right before the last presidential election, where 10,000 women, almost 10,000 women in Chester County were found to not be registered to vote. And that was pretty incredible, and we formed a coalition along with the League of Women Voters. But we had this coalition of many organizations and a lot of nonprofits in Chester County doing everything we could to go out and get women registered to vote. Remember to exercise your right to vote. Your vote is your voice.
Yes, it
and
is.
There's many organizations that are out there in the state, in the county, and nationwide that you can get information from.
And if you think your vote doesn't count, 2 years ago, Carolyn Committa won the race. It was a recount by 25 votes. So your vote does count. And that's the only way you can show your opinion.
We want to make sure that everybody exercises their right to vote.
All colors, shapes, ages, sizes, you name it.
And so just remember, there is no reason for you to not be able to vote.
So thank you for joining us and bringing awareness and information on the topic of voting. The League of Women Voters is such a great force in Chester County when it comes to just voting and helping everyone get access to such a fundamental right for all of us. So thank you.
Thank you.